Good evening, friends. Welcome to Rumble's Fish Room. It's spooky because it's dark out. I just said dark out. I'm not American, guys. I'm Australian. That is, if you are American and you're watching this, Australians don't say dark out. They say outside. So, as you can see from the video, it is nighttime. I'm in good spirits, but it's all good. I ended up having to stay back a bit later at work than I would have liked to, but I've got a task at hand. So I told the members the other day, and I want to tell you too, my plan is to get a dry fish room floor. Now, that's going to be tough because my fish room floor hasn't been dry since I built the fish room. Like literally that pond has leaked since maybe not the day I filled it up, but within like 3 months of filling it up, it's stuffed up. And one of the reasons I was so negative about the pond is because when I set that pond up originally, I actually took advice from a boat builder, a fiberglass boat repairman. Told me what to do to fiberglass that pond, and the fiberglass failed. Well, it wasn't fiberglassed, it was only resined. I bought specific resins and all that jazz. I spent a lot of money, and unfortunately it was bad advice and it failed within 3 months. So you'll notice when I talk about repairing the pond, I'm very hesitant and negative about it, and it's just because it was such a bad experience. But what was my point? We've got to fix it. It's just out of control now. We've really got to fix it, and at the moment I think the pond is the only thing leaking, but the water on the floor has increased, so I don't know if it's not just the pond leaking. The other thing is the rain does come in underneath, which I've already told you about, which we've got to fix. But today, step one is moving fish. So let me show you how that's going to begin. Alright, so I said step one is moving fish. Step one of moving fish is moving fish. The fish out of this tub. Now, I'll probably delete the filter for a minute. I want to take the filter out, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to lift it out. It's like 10 degrees Celsius, and I'm in a singlet because we're about to get wet. And then I'm going to get even colder because I'm in a singlet and I'm getting wet. So this is going to be a freezing job, but we've just got to get it done. Yeah, so, alright, I'm going to disconnect that filter. Alright, so you guys are on the tripod. I say this every time I use the tripod, but I should use the tripod more. Oh, and I just got soaked already. That was my fault. I was trying to pull the airline off. Alright, so airline is turned off by tying a knot in it. Filter must come out. The water's cold, guys. I don't know if the heaters are keeping up, to be honest. Oh. Alright, so if anybody wondering, that was full. That was a mission to get out. So I'm actually going to bleach this filter, and I'll tell you now, the fry out of that tank are going into this IBC, but I'm going to bleach the IBC and start a cycle again. I might even like throw these sponges in the IBC. I can take the cycle from the fry tank, but I don't want to contaminate these fish with the fry. I'm sure you guys understand what I mean by that. Just because I've had, because I had hexema in there, I don't know if it came from here or what. So basically, whenever I move fish into a tank from now on, well, not from now on, because I've done it for the last few fish that we've bought. I don't know if I've showed you on camera, but lately what I've been doing is bleaching the tanks. So now I've got to get the fish out. That was a long-winded way of saying let's catch the fish. Alright guys, so now just start catching fish. So this one here, they're pretty much mostly culls. There is a couple of keepers in there. Look at that, absolute junk. But I'm not killing the culls. We're using them for this situation. I'll explain a bit later why we're keeping them. Thai silk's pretty beaten up. It's actually not too, it's not a great looking fish, to be honest. This Thai silk here looks like a keeper. It's bizarre, like when you actually look at them close out of water, you can actually see the red underneath the silkiness. There's actually more in here than I realised. I just caught 1, 2, 3, 5 at once. Look, here's a... So this one here, I actually wanted to breed. So this one's actually an F2. But she got not fin rot, but she got her fins stuffed up. If you actually remember, she got attacked and had some fungus on her fins, and I put her in some methylene blue, and I left her in the methylene blue for too long and it actually burnt her fins. So I still would kind of consider breeding her because it's not genetic. It's only, it's my error, human error. Unfortunately, I hate to admit that, it's human error the reason she's actually damaged. So in that case, I don't have to worry about the damage to her fins coming up in the younger generation. And she is an absolute ripper besides the fact that her fins are stuffed. And also one thing is, she is fading. I would prefer she wasn't a fader, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to catch some more. I might show you some more while we're catching them. We'll see. Alright guys, so here's a bit of an example of why you need to cull flower horns. So look how small and withered away this one is. So this one is an F1. So this fish is actually like a year old. So you can see like not all of them grow. And I honestly don't know how that one survived this whole time. I don't think it's you do see stunted from small tanks, but even like when they're in 1,000 litres like this, when it's a big group like that, you still get the stunted ones. But I've noticed when you breed purebred Americans, you really don't get as many different sizes. Like the sizes vary so much more in the hybrid world. Alright guys, we've got all the fish out. There's actually more than I realised. I'm putting the filter back in. Because when I took it out, I didn't really think about the fact that I want to bleach the tank. So when I bleach it, I want the filter to be bleached as well. Alright guys, so I I'm doing a bit of acclimatization because the tank they're going in is much warmer than the tank they came from. And I put some white spot remedy in there because of the huge temp swings. It's another precaution I take when moving fish, just because I don't want white spot pretty much. Pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? So these guys are going in this tank up here, if you didn't realise. The tank is 9 foot by 2.5 foot by 2 foot. No, 9 foot by 2.5 foot by 1.5 foot. I think it's like 1,000 litres-ish. There's 2 of them. That one's also the same size. Don't be fooled by the leg in the way there. That tank runs all the way from there, all the way down to that far corner. Alright guys, so now it's time to put them in their new home. So the theory here behind not culling the culls and only keeping the selects is there's only like five fish, about 5 in here that I'd want to keep. And the idea of throwing like 15 or whatever it is into the tank is it will spread the aggression more, and like with any luck the culls are the ones that will get chomped and not the keepers. There's actually this boy here doesn't look too bad, but he's just a bit too beaky. But yeah, pretty much the only good ones in there are the silks. So the silks are actually F2, whereas the ones that aren't silks are F1, and that fader is F2 as well. I really hope she survives the onslaught. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't really call it that, but it is a bit. Any nice ones in here? That's a decent girl there. She's nice. Little bit beaky. The main takeaway I had from what's left is they didn't have enough red coverage. So the vampire girls used to have such insane red coverage. And like this boy actually has pretty good red coverage. If I isolated him, he would probably have really good red except for the face. But yeah, just like one thing it seems like the red magma brought to the vampire line was the lack of red. I definitely think that's the case. It would be nice to get to breed the fat boy into them, because the fat boy have a really solid red. I don't know. We've got Richard. He's a really good red, but he's a proper vampire throwback. So I could breed him. I could breed him with the F2 fader girl and get an F3 batch from him. So if you guys haven't seen, this is actually the dad of the F3 batch, and when I bred him he wasn't looking that great, but he's actually starting to look pretty good. He's actually starting to look really good, except for head coverage, which is something you guys know I want to work on. If you guys remember, a while ago I said I wasn't happy with the parents of the F3 batch. Turns out the dad is turning into one of the nicest of the F2s. The only thing is he's not short body, but I actually like longer bodies better than short bodies personally, but it's just the breeding traits of the short bodies that I'm chasing. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to show you he's popping. He's turning into a ripper. We've got the gold-based fader cross red magma batch in there. Once they actually get big enough to start separating, I'm going to consider either selling the last of the F1s really cheap. I probably won't. I don't like selling them cheap. I'll probably I might give a couple away to members, or I don't know, something to do with YouTube. And I need to start clearing out the selects tank because I just want to keep moving forward. In saying that, the ones that are in the selects tank now, I'll either advertise them for sale or I'll put them up in that tank that we just threw those fish in. It's a bit busy up in there at the moment, everyone's going nuts. But anyway guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe for more, hit that little red button. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.